Welcome Dr. the Honorable Glen Mills, who joins us tonight. It really is a pleasure to have him on this show. First of all, Coach, congratulations on producing another world champion, and specifically another world champion in the 100 meters. And I just want to make the point that it's not just the 100 that he's produced world champions, but also at 200 and at 400 meters. But this one, Coach, how sweet was it for you to see Oblique Seville cross that line first?
It was a great joy. As you know, I'm here, so I watched it on TVJ. And funny enough, you know, I was on delay. So I was about a minute or so because I'd gone back to look at events. So I was watching the athletes standing behind the blocks. So by that time, the races had already run. And my phone started to go crazy. And so I looked at it, and I said, congratulations. So I said, well, I turned it down and said, well, apparently he won something. But I didn't know that he actually won. So eventually I caught up with the proceedings, and it was really good because the journey started about 4 years ago, and it has not been as smooth as we would like, and we have had to encounter many hurdles and many disappointments along the way. And I was worried that this crescendo of something is wrong with his head and he's going to be 2.0 somebody. And so that was my greatest fear, that I had to keep him focused, that don't listen to it. We know what is going on. There's nothing wrong with your head. You don't have a head problem. Because if you hear it so often and you read it, you begin to doubt yourself. Yeah. But he's a very fierce competitor. He's strong mentally, but he has had his problems, and which has led to disappointments. Yeah. And it is misinterpreted that because he didn't get a medal or win, it's something wrong with his head, but nothing's wrong with his head.
What would you say made the difference in 2025?
Okay, as I mentioned, he has some problems, which I don't want to go into medically. It's not anything that is life-threatening, but it affects his ability to perform at his very best. And so we sent him to a lab in Florida, where they did extensive testing and so on, and they made several recommendations. Out here, he's been going to Dr. Mansingh, been doing a lot of analysis and so on at the lab and thing. And one of the recommendations he made was that I should look at doing a different program or adjusting the program to see if it would make a difference. And so I reduced his workload, reduced the amount of sprinting, speed work, and all different things. And he did the test again, and we saw a reduction in the numbers. And so I had a different approach to coaching him. So as he is now, he's under work, under coach, because one of my concerns was, did I go too far that he may not be able to repeat, especially that second day when it's an hour and a half, and thing, because one thing that we cut down significantly was his speed endurance work, etc. But we were able to keep him healthy enough so that he could compete more often.
Yeah.
And when we ran the relay in London and the 100, it was an experiment to see what would happen between the time, and we were happy with the result. So the difference is that we're beginning to close in on the problem, and we're making progress. Before I came today, I got a text from a medical doctor who has a theory as to what the problem might be, and he wants to examine and to see if he's correct. And if I read it, and there's some validity, and if that works out, then I'll be able to train him back the way he needs to be trained.
Yeah, quite interesting. When did he first visit that lab in Florida?
It was last year.
After the Olympics?
Last year after the Olympics. Or it was before. I think it's after the Olympics.
So you've really started to narrow in on the problem just about a year ago.
Yeah, I would say yes. But the change of program and thing is just recently.
Yeah. After the first round, and we speak about the mental aspect of everything, and he got that slow start in the opening round, did you have an opportunity to speak with him between that and the semi-final the next day?
Yeah, I spoke to him, and I asked him what was that all about, and he said it was deliberate. That when he went after he came out,
yes,
and I don't know if he did any kind of stride out. I didn't see that part, but he said he felt the stick in his not his calf. Yes, his calf. So he was a bit apprehensive to push out of the blocks.
That was similar to the trials?
It was not as bad, but I guess that the feeling the stick would probably generate the fact that it had happened already. Yeah. And so he said what he was trying to do was to come out slow. But I think the thing what he should have done is to react without being explosive instead of sit and then come out. But when I saw it and didn't know what was happening, my only concern was how much effort it took to get back to run 9.3.
Yeah.
Because with all the concern and the excitement, his time was faster than the main protagonist.
Yeah.
So, and then I said to myself, when I saw the recovery, the reaction time, it was nearly 0.032. It was what?
256, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
No, or 286.
Yeah.
So I said, let me do some mathematics because that's, you know.
And what did your mathematics arrive at?
That when I minus the abnormal reaction and then substitute his normal reaction, which is about 1.145 or so, I got 977. So the actual effort was equivalent to 977. So I said, well, no big thing.
Which is what he did in the final, by the way, to win the gold medal. We're speaking with Glen Mills, head coach of the Racers Track Club. He has coached 4 world 100-meter champions, Oblique Seville, the latest of them, and we're having a conversation with him here on Return to Tokyo. We have to go to a break though, but stay with us. We'll be back. Yeah, we're back on Return to Tokyo, day 4. Yeah, that will be tomorrow morning, where 14 Jamaicans will be in action. We're having a chat, though, with Glen Mills. He is the head coach of the Racers Track Club, the man who guided Oblique Seville to World 100-meter gold. And that came, of course, on Sunday morning, Jamaica time, Sunday evening in Tokyo, Japan. And Coach Mills, I put this question to my panel on Sunday, and certainly as the coach, I would love to get your input into the execution by Oblique Seville in that final. As the coach, how do you feel about it?
Well, first thing to be is that he won. So, I mean, that would sort of cover the thing. But in terms of the execution, that is not his race. Running from behind and running people down, that's not his race. That's not his best race. So his reaction was good, but his execution in his drive phase and transition was poor. Normally, if he, you see there, his shoulders is tight in his shoulders and all of that, and he's up straight too quick and all that. When he executes that part properly, by the time he gets to 60 meters or thereabout, when he get to top speed and kicks the overdrive, is goodbye, he's gone. So the fact that he's coming from so far behind means that his execution in the first part he didn't benefit from the strong point of his race. So if you watch him in London, you watch him in Lausanne, that's the kind of race that he should be executing. He's a very good starter. He starts very well in practice, but I believe that the whole question of that first part, is my calf going to grab me or so on, I think is still in his in the psychology of his mind. But the thing is with the problem is that once he gets going and he gets past that point, it doesn't have a problem. So what you see in the execution is that at a point where in his mind, yes, I'm over it, then he unleashes...
Like the national championships. Was it a similar thing at Racers Grand Prix as well? Because at Racers Grand Prix, he ran from behind.
Well, the truth about Racers Grand Prix is that he got hurt a couple of days before. And we were toying with the idea to pull him out. But the meet was so built around him and Kishin competing. We said, well, okay, we got to put him on the starting line. But he was under instructions not to really race. If it is to race. Yeah. So we were very happy when he was finished and it wasn't right.
It was okay.
But at the trials, because of what happened to him, he deliberately ran slow for the first part and then run to qualify. So if you watch the race, you see the difference. Yeah. So, as I said, when he realized that he's okay now, and at that point, you can see that he opened up and thing. But what I was surprised, well, I wouldn't say surprised because he has never been forced to run like that. Yes. But when I see that and know what he should be doing, it let me have a different prospect as to what he really can do when he puts everything together. Because if he can finish with such power, then he's in good stead because most races are won from behind.
When I look at Oblique Seville for the entire 2025 season, and a lot of what you spoke about, but also a personal best at 400 meters, ran quite a few 200 races this season, never when he was anywhere close to peak. It makes me wonder about what he could do at 200, and he did run 20.13 and had the qualifying time for the World Championships. Could we in the future see him as a 200 force?
Yeah, yes. The problem he has, and it makes it sound as if he's a massive problem, but sometimes it is those who are extra special that have the difficulty. Once he's going to do an operation on his toe, on the toe. I've decided that we're going to do an operation on the toe. I believe it will be successful. Once he gets over that, then he can run the turn. And once he can run the turn, he will be a very powerful force in the 200 because his 300 times indicate that he can run a good 90 low over the 200.
How long have you been battling with that decision of the toe surgery? I remember athletes like Sania Richards, Ross, speaking
that
about...
That toe has been with him from the day he entered races. It's come from Calabar.
Wow.
The problem, but we will see.
And it impacts mostly his curve running.
It affects him on the straight, but more so around the curve.
Yeah. There's an interesting one, Coach, because I've heard the suggestion in recent years that maybe Coach Glen Mills is not as motivated as he once was, and is not as motivated as maybe he was in the Bolt era, for example. Do you believe that this Oblique Seville victory dispels that notion?
Well, I don't know who's doing the measuring, but I'm out there because I'm motivated. I've been coaching from I was 16. So there must be some motivation and passion for me to be still coaching when I'm 76.
Yeah. So you haven't lost the drive?
No, I don't. I can't. If any time that I do not, well, let me explain it this way. When I undertake any task, my standard is the highest excellence. If I cannot, if I'm falling short of that for any reasons, then I have a problem. It's either I'm going to do it well or don't do it at all. So when I go out there to coach every evening, I'm out there because I want to be out there, and I owe the athlete that is looking to me for inspiration and a program to develop there, because they're livelihood.
Yeah.
They are professionals and so on. So I cannot afford to go out there and shortchange them. Anytime if I ever reach that stage, then they'll get a new coach.
You pointed it out. You've been coaching from you were 16 years old. You think about so many greats that you have coached, from the Jamaican angle, from Raymond Stewart, Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, Warren Ware, who is on our panel, outside of Jamaica, Daniel Bailey, Zarnell Hughes, Kim Collins, who won your first world title in 2003. So much quality you have been associated with over the years. How much longer do you see yourself doing this?
Well, look here. I have not, well, look here. The length of my duration here on earth is in the hands of the Almighty. However, I have some very young athletes that I think is extremely talented.
Like Boaji and Krumi.
And yes, and I want to go with them for as long as I can in their career, And then maybe at that point in time, I guess I will call the fat lady.
Another thing that has been said or questioned is your ability and the ability of the racers group to do well with female athletes. Toby Amusan joined your group last year. This is the first season that she's with the group, and I thought she has been brilliant all season, was great in that World Championship final. Clearly look at what that silver medal means to a world record holder, a former world champion, and I think that speaks a lot to where she was last season versus where she is now. What has that season been like, and how pleased are you to have this female world medal?
Okay, let me deal with Toby first. Since her triumph in Eugene, things have not gone well in terms of by her standard. And then last year at the Olympics, I don't think she made the finals. It wasn't thing. So she got to get, our coach and her got together and they discussed that they needed to do something new, etc. and so on. And Lassina Golin, who is our coach, told her that she should come to Racers to work with Coach Mills because she thinks that's the best thing for her, and it would be, you know, just a Coach Mills. He's a good man, and what have you. So when they contacted me, I said, fine, come along and we will, you know, see what we can and so on. And so with the program and the work that we did with her and so on, she was able to progress and to get back her mantra. And I think she ran, the first race she ran was the fastest she ran in 3 years, and then she got better and
You
better.
mean in the flat 100 or in the hurdles? Because I remember her running the flat 100 at Jamaica College.
Well, that was working on speed and so on and so forth. But it has been great. She's a true professional. She's easy to work with. She's no nonsense. And I really enjoy working with her. And I was very pleased to hear her comments.
About loving dumplings?
No, I don't know. No, I'm trying to relate to our experience with Coach Mills and racers.
Yeah.
And you know, I love the phrase, he's an amazing coach.
Well, I'm sure a few other athletes would say
and she was very, and she was so happy for the silver medal because it's the first since the World Championship and so on.
Yeah.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
Now, as it relates to the ladies,
females,
right,
yeah.
the females, I don't have any problem coaching females. As a matter of fact, I coached Eileen Bale in 2004,
yes.
when the greatest period of her career in that thing. But she had to go back to school to finish her degree, and so we never got to continue. And way back before, I used to work with Sandy Richards. I used to work with a couple more things.
You had a successful little period with Shaloni Calvert as well.
And, and so on. But here's the thing. When we restarted Racers, we never had the capital and we never had the thing to recruit ladies. Mm-hmm. Because my concern was, if we recruit young girls and things, we didn't have a secure thing to put them. And I wasn't prepared to put young girls in strange houses or apartments with no thing, because it's a risk.
Yeah.
So we didn't pursue it. In the meantime, here comes along the Bowles, the Blakes, and Warren and so on. And so the club took off in a direction where we were dominant in the world with the male. And unfortunately, the local comment was that, oh, this is a man club. And so when we reach a position now where we had money,
Yeah.
because we were, Bolt was in his element. Yes, and so the club was earning, and we said, okay, let us look at putting together a female program now and so on. But we got cold shoulders that, and when we talked to people, we said, oh no, it's a man club. Because at that time we could now either put them up at one up at UA,
yeah,
where they have the new apartments and stuff, and we could
secure facility.
But so I said, well, look, we're not going to fight anybody.
Yeah.
But trust me, I know my ability, and I know what we can do. When I took Alien, in our improvement was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And she just missed medals in the both 100 and 200.
Yeah, very close in the 200.
And she was impressive in the 4x1,
yeah,
and so on. So we know what we can do, and we're gonna we have a young miss who's trying to make a comeback, who is of quality. And
you want to tell us who that is?
Well,
give us the secret, coach, before we have to go.
You know, Kevona Davis is back here in Jamaica, and she has joined with us. And
might not be a secret to you, Coach, but a lot of people are hearing this for the first time.
No, I see it on YouTube, so it's not a secret. We're working on getting her weight down, which she has done a good job. Yeah. And I look at her and watch her in training, and I think she still has it, but it's going to take some time. And if that works out, so
you never know what will happen. Coach, will never have enough time to talk to you. It's always the problem, but we really appreciate you coming in. We have to end it here. Congratulations again, a 4th world champion in the 100 meters, but overall 6 gold medals now at the World Championship for you as a coach in the 100 meters, to go with the Olympic gold medals and other medals. And
you know, but what about the 200?
That's what I'm saying.
Bolt will never forgive me if you don't add his 200.
400 and all of that. So, so many incredible, really a national icon is Glen Mills, and we were really delighted to have him here in studio with us tonight on Return to Tokyo.